This video is for the radian and degree conversions coloring activity.
Right.
Okay, so radians and degrees. All we've done are degrees, right? So we're going to just look at this unit circle so I can kind of explain to you. So think of this like right here, see where it says 0 degrees, and then where this line is, it says 30 degrees. Think of this like an angle. It opens up, okay? So if you're looking at just that piece there, right? This right here is a 30-degree angle. That's how the unit circle works all the way around. So like if you're sitting right here and you travel to this point, you've gone 30 degrees around the circle, okay? If you go this far, you've gone 90 degrees around the circle. An entire circle is 360 degrees. That's the only one that's not listed on here. Is once you get back and you go all the way around, you make one full revolution, you've gone 360 degrees. The other way that we represent degrees is in radians, okay? And that's this little number. I think it's like an orange, reddish looking kind of box. Pi over 6 is the same as 30 degrees. It's just a conversion. So like when we convert from feet to inches, 12 inches in 1 foot, we've got a different name. One is inches, one is feet. Same thing here. This is degrees, this is in radians, okay? The reason we do that is the radians is more accurate, okay? When we start getting into decimal points and things like that, it's not as accurate anymore, okay? And so remember we talked about yesterday pi, right? And we did circumference, 2 pi r, all the way around this thing. That all plays into this stuff, okay? So if I travel this far along the circle, the distance I've traveled is pi over 6, okay? Hopefully, again, I know it's really confusing. There's a lot of like weird, crazy numbers on here. All of these, again, we don't do that. We don't do this year much, okay? These are the ordered pairs where each of these points would be at. If I put this circle on a coordinate grid on graphing paper and I put the center of the circle at 0, 0, each of these points is where that part of the circle would land, okay? Again, this is just called a unit circle. This is just the base. This is a note page that needs to go in your notes. It's all filled out. Just wanted you to have it for reference, okay? So what we are doing today is we are converting from degrees to radians, radians and degrees, okay? It's a plug and chug formula, okay? So the notes that I gave you yesterday, go over there, phone. Okay. Okay, has the 2 formulas in it, okay, that you need. Mine's covered up, so I got a sticky note in mine. But that's what we use. Give me a second. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Savannah's not here, but I will send Cody to you. All right, no problem, Thought. This my burger needs you, baby. Okay, so the first half, you notice all of these we're converting to radians, okay? So to convert to radians, they've given us degrees, and so we multiply it by pi over 180. That's all we do. Okay, so the first 9, that's all you're going to do. Radians we write in terms of pi, okay? So you can't do this in your calculator per se because it'll calculate pi. There is a piece that you can do in the calculator. So to convert this, we're going to do 52 times pi over 180. I showed you this a little bit yesterday. Right, we put the whole number over 1. When we multiply fractions, top times top, so we would have 52 over pi. 1 times 180 is 180. If you notice, that's not an answer choice because we have to simplify it. All we're simplifying, though, are the numerical values. This piece here, okay? This is the part that your calculator will do. what you can do in your calculator is type that fraction in. 52 over 180. Don't type the pi in. Okay? And it simplifies it. And then what you do is you just come back, 13 is your top number, attach that little pi back to it, and then 45 is your bottom number. And if you look, that should be an answer choice. How am I going to do this? There's a blue one. Yep, that'll work. Okay. So on the coloring sheet, any number ones you see, you would color orange. Okay? Let's do another one like that. So number 2, convert 324 degrees. Actually, let's do one of these negatives. Let's see what happens when we throw a negative in there. So convert negative 90 degrees to radians. So negative 90 over 1 times pi over 180. Okay? We're going to multiply. Top 9, we're going to multiply by pi over 180 every time. So we would get negative 90 and the pi on top and the 180 on bottom. Again, just the numbers. And some of you may see it in your head. Okay? Ooh, I'm glad I picked this one. This is a good one to do. Okay. So negative 90 over 180 is negative 1 over 2. I'm not going to write the 1. Okay? So I wouldn't write negative 1 pi and then the bottom is 2. Instead, I make the 1 invisible and I just do negative pi over 2. Okay? Anytime you multiply something by 1, it's the same thing, so we can make it invisible. Okay? So that one's red. Okay, going the other direction. Now they've given us degrees, or they've given us radians on the bottom 9. So 10 through 18 are degrees, or radians, I'm sorry. We have to convert it to degrees. So we've got pi over 9. This time, so for the bottom 10, we flip it. We're going to multiply by 180 over pi. Okay? Here it was pi over 180. Down here it's 180 over pi. And this is why I showed you what I showed you yesterday. Remember what I told you about the catty corners? If you have the same value on top and on bottom, it cancels. Okay? On these, the pi should cancel out every time. Okay? So even if I typed this whole one in, right? Let me show you why I didn't type the other ones in. Like this problem here, why I didn't just do all of this in the calculator. I'm just going to show you what it does. So 52, actually let's do this. 52 times, let's see, pi over 180. Okay? You get that really gross decimal. And again, it wants it in terms of pi. Anytime you see that, put your answer in terms of pi, means leave the pi symbol. Don't make it 3.14, don't make it anything. Your answer should have that pi symbol in there. Now this one, going the other direction from radians to degrees, if I type that whole problem in there, pi over 9 times 180 over pi. Simplifies it for me. Same as if I worked it out this way. Now on top all I've got is 180. On the bottom all I have is 9. Okay? Either way works. You can cancel out by hand and then type your top and your bottom number in, or you can type the whole little formula in. Doesn't matter, it'll give you the same answer. So this one, we got 20. Let's look at 11. So 11's just 5 pi. Doesn't have a bottom. We still do the same thing though. 5 pi times 180 over pi. This is a whole number. Put it over 1. The pi's still cancel each other out because one's on top and one's on bottom. So for this problem, all we have is 5 times 180. So that one's 900. And then let's see. Trying to pick which one I want to do. Let's do 17. Okay. Convert 15 to degrees. We still do it, even though there's no pi symbol in it, we would still do 15 times 180 over pi. Okay? You can type, again, you can type the whole thing in the calculator if you want, because there's not really anything that's going to cancel out. And we get something gross. Okay, well, crud, that doesn't work. Again, here's where you need those fraction rules. Top times top. So 15 times 180 gives me 2,700. 1 times pi gives me pi. So that's kind of what I was alluding to yesterday when I told you there are times where the calculator just won't do it. It won't put the answer in the right form. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible or hard to do. Okay? It's just basic multiplication, but it's knowing those rules, knowing what to do in those cases. So this one is pink. And then let's look at 18 as well, because 18 is kind of like that. Okay, 14 pi over 51. 14 pi over 51. And we would multiply it by 180 over pi. Okay. Can you type the whole thing in? This one I think you can. I'll check it, but I think you can. But let's simplify. Pi on top, pi on bottom. Those are going to cancel. So on the top, I have 14 times 180. So 2520. 51. And again, if you cancel something out, all that's left there is a 1. 51 times 1 is a 1. I can look at my answer choice and go, oh, that doesn't even simplify. There's my answers. This is one that you can type the whole thing in. It should cancel out right. 14 pi over 51 times sorry. Pi. Why will it not make a fraction? Pi over. My brain won't work today, y'all. I think I need to call it. Oh, it won't work. It gives you a decimal. Okay. There should be no decimal answers on this page. Let me check and make sure I'm telling you that right. Yep, there are no decimal answers. Okay. What your calculator is doing in that one, it's canceling out the pi, but it's changing the fraction into a decimal. Even though both things I typed in are fractions. Sometimes it just overrides itself and it does that. Okay. So this one is brown. Okay. So your task for today. Finish this page off and then finish the circumference and area page from yesterday. That's number 1. If you're done with this page and the 2 pages from yesterday, absolutely you can color. And I will give you your choice. If you get to the coloring and you get it finished, you can either do, I'll either do a quiz pass or a 10-point bonus point coupon. Whichever one you want, I'll let you choose. Okay?